Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good day today. Um, as you can notice, today I kind of moved my tripod a little bit lower. I noticed I kind of cut a lot of my chest and hands off in the last video, and I also ended up adjusting the lights. I trying to get a more centered vibe for, you know, my filming, but I'm still using my phone today, and there's probably going to be still some audio from the fan in the background, but until I can get my camera set up, my editing software set up, I'm probably just going to be rocking with this just talk to the camera and see how it goes type shit. Because that seems to kind of be the most enjoyable / what's working for me thing right now. It's not exactly what I want to do, but it's kind of what I'm doing right now, and I like it. Until I can sit down and actually do that stuff, this is how it's going to be. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about a really interesting topic, at least interesting to me because it kind of spreads to a lot of different things in my lives, in my life. Lives. I am a cat. I have 9 lives. But it would be really interesting if we could all pick a nickname. You know, wouldn't it be just really cool if, like as a superhero, we just had a nickname instead of our just government name? It was a nickname, and we just went by that nickname. And that nickname could be chosen in a number of different ways, but however it was chosen, doesn't matter. It would just be really cool to have a nickname. Because nicknames also came from titles, which were kind of interesting things that happen in all forms of media and in history. People got titles from doing many different things. They could have killed some people, they could have saved some people, they could have cured something, anything, created something, what have you. I'm not saying that I want to be recognized or that really anyone really wants to be recognized, but like that one cool title, you know? Like, wouldn't it be really cool to be like the Dragon Slayer? I wouldn't really be slaying dragons unless it was, you know, like a bad dragon. But I wouldn't want to be the Slayer dude. I don't even know if I'd want to be the Savior dude. But I would love if we could go back to a time where, not back to a time, but bring that time to us, where we could have titles again. You know, like Jim from accounting. Not Jim from accounting, but, you know, Jim the Dragon Slayer from accounting. You know, wouldn't that be just, you would maybe treat people so much differently because that one title also says so much about that person. Like Jenny, the Green Thumb. You know that Jenny either really is super vegan and or she's really good with the outdoors. Like, there's many things Green Thumb could mean. Just like there's many things that Dragon Slayer could honestly mean. But it would be really interesting if we started either doing more nicknames or we started giving really cool titles again. We can put them on our ID and we can actually start getting like recognized as that thing, or maybe we get a badge for it. Like, it would be so dumb because instituting it would be so dumb, but how cool would it be at the same time, you know? How interesting it would be to have that little thing. It's not like it's really changing the whole world, but in the olden days, it really commanded a lot to have any type of title. Even if it was a bad title, you still knew a lot about that person just from that title. It told a lot about them. You didn't have to think that much. It's not like thinking is that hard or anything like that, but a lot of people tend to be those people you got to really pry information out of. And I could really understand in those olden times where instead of asking a million questions about like someone on a resume, you'd be like, how is Jimmy doing? Well, Jimmy the Dragon Slayer would be really great at farming. You know, you wouldn't really think the Dragon Slayer would be really great at farming. That was a really bad analogy. But my point is, you didn't have to go around selling yourself all the time just to get a job. It's crazy how much nicknames got you so many places. It got you precedence, money, it got you into things. Like, shit. I definitely wouldn't. Like, there's one thing, if anything, I have never cared about, and it was money. If there is something I wanted or would want that my title denoted a certain respectability, so that way I didn't have to go quote unquote proving myself around people. People would just take me at my word. And I imagine a lot of people feel in some form or fashion the same type of way. Instead of going to a million jobs and trying to sell yourself with a resume or questions or trying to present yourself, you can just be like, I'm X, Y, and Z person, this is my title, and they can, of course, follow up with their own questions. You still would have your resume, this is our world, and they would potentially ask your previous employers. But I think that a title would definitely help a lot. It's like how being a doctor can get you hired a little bit faster. I'm saying a little bit because I know that there would be some doctors out there that would be biting my head off being like, you don't understand, it's so much harder to get. Yeah, I get it. It's hard to get a job anywhere because that is unfortunately how America is. It is really hard to get a fucking job. But so many people claim it is. I call that bullshit because it's really fucking hard. And it's always really fucking hard. The only time I think I even had a quote unquote easy time getting into a job is when I was 18 to 20. Then once I hit 21 is when it really started getting fucking hard. And I think it's because people think you need to go to school and do all this stuff to get a really good job. I mean, it's a yes and no factor. To be really honest, it shouldn't be you need to go to 4 years of school to be able to do X, Y, and Z career. I'm fully the believer that you should have 2 years of schooling and then 2 years of experience, because honestly, that would be way better for you. You would actually be able to work into understanding the job. But this isn't about school, it's about nicknames. And nicknames would be especially easy to get in school, and it would really help when you got out of school. It would almost be like getting those little micro awards, but instead of being a kiss ass that did all those micro awards, you could just be a kiss ass. Your nickname could be the kiss ass. But like, that's kind of my point, is nicknames say so much about a person. Even if it's just something small, they say so much about a person. And they've always kind of just been something that's important to me, even titles. Because when you know someone's a cop, you very much start thinking about them in a million different ways. And if you say you don't, you're a liar. It's the same thing with firefighter, airplane attendant, like anything. You start thinking about them in a million different ways, whether or not they're good or bad. But you at least do think about them in a million different ways. And if you say you don't, you're a liar. But you got to stop basically thinking that nicknames, titles, it's not that they're necessarily good or bad, but they could be better than what they are if they mattered more than they do in a lot of senses. which is ironic that I mentioned doctors because doctors are probably one of those nickname titles that are actually probably the most important in our day and age. Like, most, if not every job is to some level replaceable, but you can't just point at a person and go, "You're gonna be a doctor." And frankly, I really hope you didn't do that, because there's a lot of people out there that are doctors that should not be doctors. So, realistically, this was a huge video on me rambling about nicknames and titles, and I hope I really didn't get lost in the sauce. Again, I have filmed this video 4 times, 3 times, 3 or 4 times. And it's all because I kept getting lost in the sauce and I kept going into these random tangents. I hope I kept this relatively good for this video. And I hope you join me back for the next one. And I hope you have a good night tonight. And I'm going to try and have a good night as well.